Hi everyone, I'm Chuck KRAUS, General Manager of Playhouse Stage Company, coming to you with another feature for our Spotlight in the Dark campaign. To those of you who have donated so far, we can't thank you enough. You're making a huge difference in our ability to keep bringing our programs to the community. Over the last few days, we've been telling you all about the things we've been doing and continue to do to make arts education accessible to students and schools in our community, even during this current shutdown. I know firsthand the value that an arts education can have on a young person. Like our producing artistic director, Owen Smith, I was a student in the Park Playhouse Summer Youth Theater, and the program had a huge impact on my personal development. To have this organization now led by its former students and have so many former students featured in our productions is a testament to this community and to this organization. For today's feature, Owen sat down virtually with some of our graduates from over the years to talk about how arts education set them up for success.
I was very pleased this week to sit down with 4 former students who have participated in our youth programs over the years. Brandon Jones, who performed in our very first youth theater camp and who now works for Playhouse Stage as an educator, performer, and musical director. Kelley Curran, a 5-year Playhouse student in the 1990s who has since performed on and off Broadway and in regional theaters across the country. Tom Czerwinski, an Albany High grad and Park Playhouse student who now works as a Foreign Service Officer for the Department of State. And Giuliana Bruno, a 2015 graduate of our program who is now well known locally as a reporter for News 10 ABC.
What do you think, what about that changed you as a person, having the arts in your life that young? What do you think you took out of it?
I would say it was a pretty integral part of my growing up. I came from the inner city in Albany, New York. I didn't have a lot of opportunity to interact with folks that were from outside of my school district. And working and participating in Park Playhouse gave me the opportunity to work with people from all across the capital region.
Well, one, it made me a lot more outgoing. I was super shy as a kid.
One of the biggest things for me was having a lot of people to look up to that wanted to see me do well, no matter what that was at the time. So besides just 5 seasons of awesome shows, I did things in between, like the acting classes with you, dance classes with Ashley. I worked with Brandon Jones on some vocal things, and just kind of always looking to get better.
As a kid, it's kind of this incredible outlet to be creative without being self-conscious, to get outside of yourself, to be asked to put yourself in someone else's shoes and play.
It also gave me a lot of confidence growing up. Being able to get on a stage in front of lots of people, being able to get through multiple auditions, being able to brag to my friends, frankly, that I was one of the people who was going to be performing in Washington Park this year, and inviting my friends to come and see me really gave me a big boost of confidence growing up as well.
I didn't really know at the time what I wanted to do. I played sports, I was doing the newspaper at school, I didn't know, but everyone was still supportive of me and wanted me to do well and succeed. So I think it was just this extra support system that just really boosted my confidence.
The amazing thing that it does for your sense of empathy and your understanding of different people's circumstances and the sort of broad range and scope of our humanity.
Can you think of things that you gleaned from your theater education that now help you do your job well?
So I'm currently a diplomat working at U.S. embassies overseas, and Park Playhouse gave me the opportunity early on to get in front of a stage with a lot of people watching. This is a skill that I use on an almost daily basis, interacting with members of the public, explaining U.S. policy, giving speeches. These are all things that I do as part of my work, and it's really something that has served me very well, having the stage presence that I developed at a young age in Park Playhouse too.
It was an early bridge towards like what it means to maybe do this as a professional, what it would look like, how our rehearsals organized. It was this wonderful introduction to like, you have to take this seriously. You don't always have to take yourself seriously, but you have to take this seriously because this entire group of people is getting together to create something for an entire community. And that is a privilege.
But I think the more that I that I worked in the program, the more I realized who I was okay, and that it wasn't a matter of, you know, being able to be the loudest person in the room, but have, you know, a quiet confidence. And I think that's something that has gotten me a lot of respect in what I do, is the fact that, you know, you have to be loud and confident and be able to put those words together in front of the camera, but then off camera, when you're interviewing people, or it's the worst day of someone else's life, but it's just another Tuesday for me, I have to bring it back, tone it down, and show them that I'm a person too.
Like, you know, I always wanted to remember, like, you know, like why I do this. So like, I would always say, you know, because it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And so whenever like I'm teaching music or trying to, you know, like music direct whatever show that I'm working on, I have to first remember that I think that this is a lot of fun. And so I want to make sure that everybody around me is having fun.
When you think back to performing in the park, what sort of memories do you have around that? I mean, it's such a unique place. Like, what memories do you have of the park?
You know, I am from Albany, had seen shows at Park Playhouse growing up, and it always felt like Broadway. It was the closest thing I knew to Broadway growing up, and the closest I had, you know, viewed. And so then being on that stage and being a part of it, again, back to the confidence, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm allowed on this stage where literally anyone from the city and beyond can just come and sit and watch.
Walking out onto the stage that first time and seeing the audience, like, it was packed. It was like, I don't remember if it was opening. No, it was opening night, definitely. But it was like packed. There were so many people there, and it was like overwhelming, and I was so nervous. And so, you know, it was just like, I don't know. I knew like this is like where I belonged, and it was like the most amazing thing to see all these people who actually like wanted to be there, who are actually seeing the show and enjoying it, because it's like a tradition every year and people look forward to it. And it's like the most amazing thing. And then hearing that applause of like all these people just like clapping and just like enjoying the work, it was just, it's invigorating.
What I really loved was being able to work behind the scenes, working the logistics, working with my hands, making the people on stage look their best, making sure that the set looked its best, and providing the canvas on which other people could perform.
One of the things that was so great about it was like, yes, it's outdoor theater and you have to deal with like all these things that you cannot predict and you cannot control: weather, insects, you know, people walking by because they can walk by and make whatever noise they want, you know. But at the same time, the thing that was so wonderful about it was that access, was the accessibility that audiences had to what we were doing. I mean, I remember having dear friends from middle school and high school come and see the shows in the park 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times because they could afford to.
Even now, like after all these years of doing shows at the park, like it's still the same thing for me. I still get that, you know, nervousness, like, and seeing the audience is still like takes my breath away.
It breaks my heart that I didn't get to go this summer and see the show. It's the first summer in I don't know how many years that I haven't been to the park for a show. So I'm really looking forward to when it gets to happen again, because there's really the energy of being on stage or sitting in the amphitheater is just unmatched. It really is.
Park Playhouse was really an integral part of my growing up and my development. It provides an opportunity for kids coming from Albany, where I grew up, people who may not have the means to be able to experience professional or semi-professional theater. And so to have that opportunity at quite a young age was something that was really special for me.
Thank you to all of our former students and colleagues for joining us for today's conversation. And thank you to all of you out there for watching. Your support for our Spotlight in the Dark campaign will help us to keep providing high-quality arts education to students across our region, setting them up for success wherever their lives might lead. Keep watching. There's plenty more to come, and don't forget to join us on Facebook on Sunday, October 18th at 7 p.m. for our Spotlight Cabaret.